Nah, please explain. What is Tau Day, man?
Well, remember the books by Douglas Adam,
All
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
right.
Yeah, those books, the planet gets destroyed on May the 25th, and they call that Tau Day. He goes up to the guy's home and says, "Hey, grab this towel," and they hitchhike a ride on the spaceship before the planet gets blown up.
Yo, that is hilarious. You get now, hey, they let the world is about to they're about to feel me when I step out. You know what, man? It's very coincidental. A lot of things with you, man. I can't. It's like so many things just coincidentally happen. Like I think it was one point where the Super Mario movie was being released the weekend that you were being released from prison. What's the chances of that? Like, what is it? That is, yo, they're president now. Last name is Bowser. Your last name is Bowser. You're being released right before the movie comes out.
Well, is when the movie becomes a variable to buy too. So
yes. Yo, you got a weird coincidence that always seems to happen. But no, I think we live now. I seen people. Okay. All right, there we go. We got people jumping in. I see my man Joe, Shane, Vincent, everybody here. All right, good. Okay, good. We got people here, man. So, nonetheless, I put the link in there for any donations. All right, I think I'm gonna paste it in there. I hope I don't screw this up. Yeah, there we go. I got the link in there. So if anybody wants to send any donations, ask any questions, go ahead, man. We encourage. I don't care if it's, send anything today. It can be $1, okay? $2, $3, $4. The more the better, okay? But this, will be used to help Gary get on his feet, man. He getting out. We ain't asking for much, man. Gary ain't trying to get loaded, man. He just I need to make it a week or two. Okay. So totally good. So other than that, man, Gary, we're gonna get to some of the other stuff. But let me ask, how did you feel watching LeBron James go down, man? Talk about a good fight.
He played a good game. He played the whole game.
He did.
But you could see he was getting tired near the end. If they had another player to replace him in the fourth quarter, that's what they should have done. But they don't really have any other good players.
You're right. It was, and you know what? I thought they had the game. It was almost like they wanted to win one game, right? And I'm like, okay, give them one game, man. Let LeBron go out on his shield. One game, no. They came back, and I do agree. The better team won. Credits to Denver and Jokic. The Joker, he is real deal, man. They're playing with a monster, man. He's the real deal. You know what I mean? So outside of that, Gary, it's something while we waiting for people, because I know it's more people tuning in. We got quite a few people tuning in. Okay. Hit the like button, thumbs up. Okay. And the link is there for any questions to donate. But Gary, one thing you mentioned before in our other chat, you were talking about how people you didn't expect, to like not write you, or not, when you reached out to them, they didn't write back, and you were like, what the hell? And at one point you even got death threats, like you said. Yo, do you think, Gary, that, because a lot of people don't know the talks we had before, they may not know, how do you feel with the person you were, like, and where you were in your life, like that year before leading up to everything, and then coming into here, and how you feel now? Because you explained to me how a lot has changed.
Yeah, a lot has changed. I mean, in some ways, it was helpful getting arrested, because I was gaining weight. I was drinking too much. I had a lot of emotional issues too, because my oldest son died in 2019, so I was dealing with that. Plus, I just turned 50, so you could say it was like a mid-age crisis.
Damn.
So in some ways, this helped reset my life, so I had a lot of time to think about what was done and will do again. So it's good. In some ways, it helps.
Go ahead.
A lot of times you have to disconnect from life. I did it once before. I actually disconnected from the internet for over 2 years. Just completely shut everything off and just disappeared. Sometimes you have to take a break from everything.
No, you preaching. I've done it before too. And so, hold on. We got an echo. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, we good. We gotta make sure no echoes. All right, let's see. We good? Anybody? We got echoes? Echo for me. Okay, so echo for me. All right, cool. That was me. That's my fault. So, I agree. I've had to do that at my points in my life where you just got to take a step back and reset. Gary, let me ask: are you a man of faith? Some people. Are you a religious man?
No.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges. I mean, I still shake hands with my worst enemy, man. I don't hold grudges against people.
Yeah, man. And you know what? That's why I asked, because I always thought, like, man, he might be, like, you have this certain type of lifestyle, man, where you kind of reset. And some people, when they reset, they seem to reset, and it's kind of like they reach out for something, right? They look for something to look forward to. And some people lean to religion. Some people lean to family. Some people lean to different things. And you seem to hold pretty strong. Now, like you said, before you came in, you was going through emotional issues and other things. At those times, how were you? Did you find yourself being happy? Were you thought you were happy? Just for people who might be in situations similar and not know, because there's a lot of people with real mental life crises, similar, losing someone that you love, someone close to you. How do you know things like that are affecting you? How did you know?
Well, I've always known that. I just the type of body I have. I guess even when I take an aspirin, I know that I can feel it affecting me. So it's strange. It's just. But I'm also I'm a people person, so I helped other people too with mental issues. Even while I was in jail, I had cellies that were having mental breakdowns and couldn't handle it. Young kids and stuff. And I've had a lot of experience. I've dealt with raising kids too. So kids come back from school crying and everything. I have to deal with what happened and stuff like that. So I've seen it directly, so I know how to deal with my own.
Yeah.
But it was tough. I mean, it was tough.
Mm-hmm. But, there's a question here, Gary. Okay, it's just a random question. They ain't done it, but this person donated previously. Okay, and I don't want to force any, but it's a great question, right? They said, how was the food in jail? And give us some examples of the food in jail. That's a great question, man. I must say, people don't get that inside scoop of jail food.
It varies. I mean, in some ways, actually, I thought the food would be better here, but in some ways, it's actually worse some days than it was in the federal prison. And I thought the federal prison was bad. What I've seen with food in prisons, there's a budget for the year, the fiscal year. Now, in case of CTEC, their budget starts in October of each year. So soon after October, the food gets better. So November, December, the food's good. They have all the toppings. They got onions in there, peppers, and we have tater tots and stuff. But come February, March, their budget starts to run low. They've underestimated the amount of people they have to feed, and they start running out of items. So come summertime, all you're eating is potatoes, rice, beans. There's no seasoning anymore. There's peppers are gone, the garlic is gone, the onions are gone, and it just becomes plain food until the next budget.
Yo, you taught me something, man. I just learned something just now. Everybody listening in, that's an inside scoop. I did not know that. And you know what? It makes sense because you're right. They like, hey, they buy all the supplies at the beginning. They not gonna re-up. Okay, they not trying to do. They got a budget. They they want to keep their money too. So, damn. Okay, we learned something new, man. That was interesting. That was real interesting. Let me make sure I'm logging in. Bam. Okay, good. I want to see if okay. So they did donate. My fault. I apologize. They donated again. Thank you so much just for the donation. I have it all up here. I didn't have it up. My fault, y'all. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Okay, then. Get pretty raunchy bunch. But I see you here. Thank you. $5 donation. Thank you. Also, Joe Farinelli said to say what's up. Joe is one that came in the chat. He said he's been one, following you for a while, and he said, Mr. Gary, you need to come to Pennsylvania. I'll make you a great meal. What's So you got my man Joe. He got his own restaurant, man. Okay, so free of charge. I know. Now I'm gonna just say, Joe, he might not be heading anywhere in Pennsylvania anytime soon. Okay, especially that $4 million. I'd rather dodge $4 million and have you send me a meal than come back to the States. I'll come visit you in Canada and bring it to you. How about we'll live like that? But no, that was nice, man. My man Joe says that, man. So. If you ever in Pennsylvania, Gary, there you go.
It's a beautiful state. I've traveled through that state before, and it's close to Canada.
It is.
I've been across the border there many times. But right now, once I leave here in a couple of days, I cannot re-enter the United States unless I have permission of the Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. And if they do give me permission, I have to report to the nearest probation office during the next 3 years. So.
Yeah.
And generally, once you get deported from a country, which is what's happening in my case, still being ordered by a judge to be removed from America, I won't be able to enter at least for 5 years. Usually, they'll never grant you permission.
Yeah.
But I don't plan to come back to America.
Gary, you gonna? We ain't worried, man. The way it is, I can travel. I got a passport, man. If I need to go, and it's not far. You're right, and especially in Pennsylvania, I've been to Joe's restaurant. I could say, magnifico, wonderful food. Treated us same way, man. Even though I got to give him money, I can't, But he was like, hey, he was gonna throw the house. Like, here you go. I said, nah, man. I had to pay for the meal, give him the money. You working hard, so. He said he'll mail it to you. There go the other chat. He said he mailed it. There you go. DoorDash it. He can DoorDash it to you, man. And then we got Sage. Sage said, what's up? Bowser Gang. Sage comes in, says Bowser Gang. Okay, they pouring in. Vincent said he wished you the best. Sorry for your loss. We got Shane Cockburn said, wish the best for you. Team Executor. Yo, we're going to get too many of those, man. I'm telling you, man. We got, and you know what, Gary, I could see you right now getting asked questions. And I'm going to move that. Getting asked questions from different people in interviews about Team Executor. Are you ready to just answer this flood of people who are going to ask 1 million Team Executor questions?
Answer some stuff, but the stuff to do with anything to do with the case, I really can't answer it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, I also like to respect the privacy of other people. So
bingo.
There's not going to be. I'm not the person that will run around dropping names or spilling information. So there's still other people there with their own court cases and their own problems to worry about. So it's best just to move on and talk about technology in general and things I've done in the past before all this stuff.
I agree. Yeah, you know what? That's very smart. I could say in 2023, I've seen many people have very complicated court cases because everything is monitored, recorded. Statements that you make can be used in others' court cases and could cause even more damages, more penalties. There could be other things that may not have been discovered, and it could be a slippery slope. So I agree 100%. And that's why I've always respected that one thing. That's the one thing I could probably say. So everybody know that he told me the moment I think I first wrote to you. Okay, that was like one of the first things, like, hey, I can talk with you and everything. I ain't talking about Nintendo. All right. I just want to keep that, the court case. Let's leave it off. And I respect that. Now, the other part of the question for that donation, I didn't ask. Okay, they came back. They said, ask the other part of my question. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and ask. They said, what's the first food you are looking forward to eating once you are out?
It's difficult. I mean, I probably like a good pizza or a good steak. I haven't had either for a while. But the one problem with being in prison for a number of while, when you eat food in prison, your body becomes accustomed to it. There is not much grease, not much oil and stuff. So previous people that have been in prison tell me that when they come out and they want to start eating rich food again, their stomach, you better be close to a bathroom because you're going to have vomiting and other issues.
You're right, because I'm not going to lie. It don't have none of that. You're right. You ain't got all that grease, all that salt, all that sugar, all that. You're right. A lot of that gets left out. And what's funny is, a lot of people think, like, when you think of jail food, they just think of slop, right? They just think of like some porridge and some guy just, dump something. But
it can be. Some days it is.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say some days it is. You might get a tray with what is this? But there are veggie trays that they sometimes pull out. If you're a big vegetable guy, sometimes they just do a sandwich and a bag of chips. Maybe it's a bologna sandwich, or what was you gonna say? Go ahead. I gotta hear it.
During COVID, there was a lot of lockdowns, and there was problems. We didn't have people working in the kitchen and stuff, so we got fed a lot of bologna sandwiches for a while. Box lunches basically would come frozen, and you would have to try to warm them up and then try to make the bologna sandwich. People got tired of that for a while at the federal prison. In fact, they changed the box lunch after a while because of that. Because they wouldn't use the cheese. The cheese was frozen solid. So they would make the bologna sandwich and shut the cheese out underneath the door. And then by the next morning, when the guards came in, all the cheese was all melted around the floor. So then all the cheese is gone, and they replaced it with peanut butter.
That's an epic fail, man. An epic fail. He said frozen, and then we wake up. It's just all melted. Nah, but that is, I think people don't understand those little things in the prison. You're right. I remember I'm not big on vegetables. So when they would roll out the veggie trays or things like that, I could not eat them. And a lot of times I was trading full veggie trays and a lot of other things for just like graham crackers, oranges, apples, juice. And I wind up becoming like, I want to say damn near a vegan, you know what I mean? Like almost like it was just amazing because I only ate certain things. And you find out that, like, man, I could live like this. You really find out that you could live like that, but I would have never known. And it was unfortunate circumstances, but I want to say I commend you for losing all the weight, man. And in there, I don't know if you have much of a choice because of the food. But
one time I jumped.
Go ahead.
One time I selling I'm going to release a diet book. It'll be a 5-step plan. Number 1, commit a crime. Number 2, get arrested. Number 3, go to federal prison. Number 4, survive.
Number 5, get out. Yo, you so telling the truth, man. Because I don't think I ever met. There's a couple people that have been in federal prison and come out heavier. And those people typically have commissary out the wazoo. They can spend as much money as they want and eat as much as they want.
Yeah. There's some people I've seen gain weight, and that's because they buy all the sugary snacks and stuff on the commissary. They spend like $90 a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even enough. So they put money on other people's books and use their account too. And
It's
I've
a
seen
habit.
people, they'll eat 12 sheep danishes in one day, or they'll eat like 4 boxes of peanut butter wafers and stuff.
Damn. That is crazy, man. Vincent's a face-to-face podcast will be awesome. Hey, don't trip, Vincent. You might see Gary having his own podcast. Don't think that ain't out the question. John says, hey, good to see you, John. Daniel Rincon, Gary the man, all exclamation points. Okay. So Gary, and this is another one. And they said, were you ever, and I'm sure of that. Okay. I could almost answer that for. They said, were you ever in general population? Now, I do recall you, even before you went to federal prison, you were in county jail.
Yeah. I was given court jail. I said, I guess that's sort of like the fast jail experience. Yeah. I'm trying to say. When I first got arrested at the airport, the FBI, of course, picked me up at the Newark, New Jersey airport, and they drove me to this little place in New Jersey in Essex County, and they brought me in there, and originally they told me, "Oh, you're just going to be here overnight. We're going to come back in the morning for you, and then transport you to Washington State." Okay. So at the first night, I just was staying in the intake in Essex County. By the morning came, the FBI didn't show up. And eventually the county said, well, what are we going to do with this guy? So they said, okay, we'll just throw you in
population.
GP, they call it, general population. And I didn't know much about it or anything. I'd never been in jail before. So I said, well, sure, no problem. Whatever. So they put me into this pod, and they said, we'll put you in one of the lighter pods, and which was about 480 people in there, 2 tiers, 1 tier of Bloods, 1 tier of Crips. And they called it a lighter pod because most of the people there had jobs, so there wasn't too much fighting or problems. Because they didn't want to lose their jobs. There was other pods of the prison that had like 2,000, 3,000 people, and they were always having issues. Dang. So they put me in one of the quieter ones with some older people and stuff. So it was my first experience. It was a little rough. And in the end, I ended up doing 5 weeks there before the FBI actually did show back up to transport me. So that was a good experience to learn. I learned a lot of shit fast on my feet. What to deal with and how to deal with prison. But I'm always a quick learner anyway. In life, I've always been that way. I've gone to countries I've never been before and just get off the plane and learn about the city. And I've done a lot of traveling. So, and like I said before, I'm a people person, so I can easily deal with multiple different personalities, how to handle different personalities. I only ended up getting injured once during those 5 weeks. Damn. And that was because I sat in the wrong area, the TV section. There was one little area where they would do all their smoking or their drugs. Yeah. And you weren't allowed to sit there unless you had something to share with. So they hit me 10 times in my leg for sitting there. But then afterwards, they explained me the rules. And because I got along with a lot of people there, I was able to eventually sit and watch TV and not worry about that. Yeah. So I was able to quickly make friends and handle it. So it was interesting.
Yeah, you telling that was a good way to tell, and a lot of people don't understand that the difference between federal and county. And when you're in county jails and like you mentioned, general population, sometimes you're walking down and you're seeing those other areas as they're bringing you to a general population of one area. And you got people coming up to windows. I'll fucking kill you. And it's a surreal experience. And people they think the scared straight thing is TV. Like these people are really in there. and they're really like that. And situations, like you said, just sitting in the wrong place or being around the wrong people, talking to the wrong crowd, little things like that, man, matter the most. And you're right. You right. That's what number 4 on your list. Survive. You did it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you were able to make it through that. Glad. Now, Vincent. Yeah, guys. Okay. Well, Timothy Province said, "What's up, Tim? Good to see you. Good to see you here." Now, Gary, one thing we talked about before briefly, websites. And one person that donated last time, they spoke about you hosting websites again. Now, when you first get out, what are some of the things that you have to do? Yeah, we know we have like government assistance. We have those things we're going to get in order. Outside of that, what are some things you thinking of that you could quickly do, or jobs that you might quickly, jump on to make a couple dollars? What are some things you got on the mind?
Well, probably gonna look for a job that I can do on a contract basis for a company that needs some IT help or support, because that will be a steady paycheck for a while until I get back on my feet. But the one thing I'm going to do is get disability from the Ontario government because of my handicap with my leg. It's going to take a few months to get it fixed. That's another major thing I got to do. So that's going to at least get me going a little bit.
Yeah.
But personally, I really don't want to work for a company 9 to 5, like I said before. So once I'm up back on my feet and have like a small monthly income from a remote job, then I'm going to look at doing my own projects and stuff. But still not sure about hosting websites. I got to do it for my own, of course. But dealing with other people's businesses and stuff, it's a lot of responsibility. And there's a lot of legalese and issues too. So sometimes it's best just to do everything on your own and not worry about other people's problems.
Now, Gary, somebody just commented, this Sage, file for bankruptcy, let 90 be asked out. I don't think it worked like that, man. I don't think you can't bankruptcy out of this one. All right, okay. I don't think they said it's file bankruptcy 90. Now, with disability, now the 30%, they say, hey, you have to pay 30% of whatever revenue you make in. Is that including disability? Because I would think disability is money you need for your livelihood to live. I would think that money would be money that Nintendo doesn't legally have the rights to, correct?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, looking through documentation and stuff, most people that pensions and disabilities aren't usually covered. I mean, they would have to go to court again if they wanted to take something like that. But it's hard to say. I mean, laws is different in each country too. So when I'm in Canada, I'm gonna have to research what liabilities and stuff are there. But my assumption is that that wouldn't be a case. But percentage-wise, it all depends on what you're making. I mean, if I get a deal for $1 million,
they don't care what you're talking about.
That's gonna happen. I mean,
So let me say, is bankruptcy an option?
Not really. That's usually only when you already have stuff. I mean, I don't have nothing. So.
Yeah, I gotta have an asset for them to take. Yeah, I feel you on that. And that's why I wondered, man, because everybody, when they covered our story, and by the way, some people don't know, you mentioned you were contacted by Toronto Star, which is amazing. That is amazing to hear, based off the interview. Now, when they contacted you, did they mention, did they literally say, I saw you on an interview? And They reached out to you?
Yeah, they did. They
I know you don't care about that, Gary. That's big for me. All right, I just got to take this second. I almost want to cry. Might not be nothing for you, but go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to be actually talking later on today with the reporter from the Toronto Star.
Good.
I'm probably meeting up with them next week once they get back on my feet.
Yeah.
So people can get an article soon. It's a lot of stuff to discuss.
It is, man. And like I said from the beginning, you know, I want to have a separate thing with you, but I always want you. I said, I want you to get out, get on your feet. I want you to get your money. Okay. That's the main thing I want you to do. Get your money, man. They got it's interviews here. It's a lot to be told. It's people who want also have Ernesto from Torrent Freak, who was someone else who wanted, you know, so we got a lot of people who are wanting to get that from you. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to hear that happened, man. So hopefully this is something that could turn everything around once you get out. Now, Gary, are you going to write a book? Because your life, right, from what you told me, going back from Texas Instruments, I'm born in the 80s. From what I understand, it goes back before that. So
yeah, it does.
You go so far back into the Texas instrument world, beginning some of these things that people use today, love, like you were there, you touched it. Do you think you want to write a book and let everybody know what you're really about?
Yeah, it's a possibility. It could be done. But these days, I mean, most people don't read books too often now.
He right. Ebook. That's what it is now. It's all these what's the audio ones, the audio books now, and ebooks. Like people rather drive down the street and listen to your voice. You know what I mean? Versus reading the book. It's sad that that's the time we come to, but I think your life is very interesting, Gary. Just from talking to you mad shit, right? We always be talking, but the things that I've heard you speak about, and also the responses I get from people. I've had people, there was a gentleman from, I forget his name, on Facebook not that long ago. He was like, hey, I was on Max Console. I was an admin. Gary's the man, and this and that. And he's saying all these good things about you. Then I got the other guy from Texas Instruments that had me email, and I email him. He's like, the whole entire Texas Instrument world is watching this interview, and we all love Gary. And you got a lot of people, even though you might got them death threats. Okay. You got a lot of other people still in support and backing you up. How do you plan on leaning on that when you get out? Is that something you plan on leaning on, or are you trying to anything that's your old life erase?
No, I'm still going to be doing a lot of stuff in my old life. I mean, the Texas Instruments stuff, I want to redo a lot of things in that world, and it's totally legit to do that. So I don't have no legal ease to worry about. So that's a good thing to lean on. And there's a lot of love and support in that community. A lot of people that, I mean, a lot of ways retro gaming is still in, as long as it's done legally and properly with licenses and stuff. Yeah. So it's something that I want to support a lot. Not just in the Texas Instruments world, but in some of the other older systems. Because I know a lot about technology and can help with a lot of projects and get other projects done.
Man, you coming out at a good time. You coming out at a good time, Gary, because we talked about generative AI, you know, and all the AI that's going on. This is like people like you are sought after.
Yeah, there was recently actually an article I read in the newspaper the other day that there was a small generation of gamers that want to have, because of climate change and things like that, giving up a lot of the fancy graphics and the hardware speed. I was reading an article of a developer that released a gaming system that's solely solar powered. It runs completely on solar energy. Doesn't use any electricity whatsoever. Damn. It may not be the greatest graphic wise and powerful wise, but there's a generation that wants echo gaming, as they going to be called. Whereas renewable, the electronics are built for renewable resources, doesn't damage the environment, doesn't use up electricity. Even the new iPhone does that recently.
Yeah,
it will only charge it, if the energy you're getting from your house at that time is coming from a more renewable source.
Yeah. See, you onto it, man.
There's a lot of new technology coming along. There's going to be some changes, man.
It is. So, Gary, generative AI video games. We had a discussion right on my podcast, and we got some people who say it's not going to change video games much at all. And we got another side who says this is going to be the next big leap in gaming. And a lot of people will lose their jobs in the process. One question, Gary, is do you think this will be a huge leap for video games introducing generative AI to be able to have NPCs answer and talk in a free conversation? Maybe stories changing along the way, no unique storylines between two people. Is that something that will bring a lot more to gaming? And if so, who losing their jobs?
I mean, it's difficult to say. It could bring a lot more to gaming, but you also got to realize that the way AI works right now, it requires massive connection to the internet, a lot of bandwidth, and a lot of it's basically similar to like Bitcoin mining that takes a lot of CPU power and a lot of horsepower. So a gaming system like that, if you have like 100 million gaming systems sold and they're all trying to connect to the one server and it has to generate all the characters, it's not going to be inside the console itself. So even a streaming video game streaming is still having a hard problem. Google tried it with their streaming system and they had to shut it down.
It is.
So when you start transmitting all that data, the internet really isn't able to handle all that right now. And of course, that is going to cause more people complaining about the environment and everything. So it's a tough battle.
It is a tough battle. Gary, should we be scared of AI?
No.
Okay.
Always to be scared about. People have to adjust. I mean, that's the thing. Everything gets adjusted.
Okay. You hear those theories, and a lot of people do not, they don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see the programming. They don't see the algorithms. They don't see the development. So they have no idea. All they know is that I ask a question and I'm getting a response that seems very realistic to me. And there's a lot of mistakes. Okay, we do see a lot of grammar mistakes, wording mistakes, things of that nature. But overall, pretty impressive. So impressive that right now, if you probably looked up Chat GPT, I'm sure it's probably like the number one search term everywhere, right? Because that's the big thing now. Do you think that people are going to lose their jobs because of this? Do you think that this generative AI is now going to be coming up with scripts so writers they won't be as creative eventually by the end? Do you think these little things could take people like that out of their jobs?
It's an adjustment. It's one of the reasons why the screenwriters in Hollywood are on strike, because they're worried that they're not going to be used for certain things. I mean, smaller stuff, smaller project and stuff, you won't need someone. The computer could probably do it. It's affected some small magazines. I was reading an article in the paper that there was a science fiction magazine where you could submit articles and they would give you like $1,000 if you wrote a good science fiction story and stuff. And they used to get maybe like 5 or 10 articles a month, which they would review, and of course they would publish 1 or 2 in their magazine on a monthly basis. Now, because of AI, they had to shut that down because they suddenly went to 150 articles a month being submitted to 500 to sometimes 1,000. And it was hard to decide which ones were actually legitimately written by a new writer starting up or by the computer.
Damn.
And then, so that's going to be a problem.
That is a problem.
But everything changes. I mean, at one time we used to have thousands of people sitting in offices typing stuff. And
that's true.
Your own typing.
Yeah.
So you have to adjust to how technology goes.
Nah, that's so true, man.
Type of job that like people complain about AIs being used in restaurants, replacing people there. But now all those robots need to be repaired and fixed.
Yeah.
So
you need people to come in and fix them. Dang, man. So the same thing with artwork, I could see. Right? Somebody sends a picture. It's the same thing. Like, how do you know it's not a robot?
100 years ago, the car was starting up. The combustible engine, a horseless carriage.
True.
People were working about people that had jobs that were blacksmiths, that were grooming horses and all that, looking after carriages. Those jobs disappeared. Yes, they did.
They did.
But what now we have gas station attendants, we have car mechanics, we have repair shops, we have auto body shops. I mean, you have a whole new generation of jobs that didn't exist before.
Yeah, true. True. Do you think we're ever going to reach a point talking about that where it's not going to be, we're going to reach an age where we just kind of, I can't even see it. You're right. Because everything, when you think of technology wise, has opened up a new avenue in some facet, even when it comes to the metaverse, right? It's opened up a lot of possibilities inside the metaverse. We see digital currency, what that has opened up and changed. So I kind of have to agree with you, man. I can't really think of a point or a time where we would get where something would come along to where it wouldn't open up new opportunities for employment.
The major problem is when technology changes, the training. A lot of people don't want to be retrained. Schools aren't up to par. Even now, there's not enough people being trained in the right professions.
True.
So you end up with a large unemployment issue because those people can't get training, they can't afford it, or they don't want it in the first place because they were happy doing what they were doing. So the transition is the problem.
No.
There's always going to be a down curve before you get back up again.
You preaching, man. So Gary, with that, it seems like we all can tell you ready to just hit the ground running, man. You might as well just go ahead and go right to tell them, hey, I'm ready. I understand how everything works. I understand how everything works. Just sit me in front of the computer. What's your problem? All right, I got you. Do you think it's going to be that simple? Because the way it sounded to me, Gary, if some company has, let's say an insurance company, right? You just go up in there and you're like, hey, do you guys have, an IT that you speak with? And they're like, oh, yeah, but we can barely get in touch with him. He's halfway across town. And I could see you very easily saying, well, here's my card. If you need an IT guy and you have an issue and he's not available, contact me. And that's it.
Yeah, that is possible. I mean, there was one other time I was between businesses. I had a business that failed, and I actually spent a year living in a hotel, and I was doing odd jobs every day just to make the monthly bill to eat and stuff before I got on my feet. Took a year, but I mean, I can survive. It's just difficult.
Yeah, no, that's it's super difficult, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I did that for one point in my life, and it's good and bad days. There was days where I was just overly flooded with money, and I was so happy. And then there were the times where I was standing outside of GameStop modding Xbox 360s. So yes, I was definitely self-employed at one point. And you're right, it's like the rent's due. I was outside of GameStops, literally trying to take their customers to make ends meet. So I've been there with the self-employment thing, and I commend you for being able to live a life of being your own boss. because a lot of people don't. Me, myself, right now, I, podcasts and other things. It's like I'm my own boss of that. It's great. But the reason I've done that is because I've been working the 9 to 5 for too damn long. So now I need to make enough money from this side, just as much as I'm making on the other side. And the other side is done. I will never, and mark my words when that happens, I will never be working a 9 to 5 again, Gary. So I'm glad to hear you tell that. And I don't care that I worked a 9 to 5. I got a boss. I hate it. All right. I don't want a boss. Okay. I want to be my own damn boss, but that will change. So I commend you for that, Gary. It's a very difficult thing to do. Now, I want to see if we missed anything, because I've been talking. Your podcasts are so amazing. I'm surprised there's not hundreds, if not thousands of people in here. Shout out Vincent. That's what I'm talking about, Vincent. That's what we need. Okay. Especially with AI art. Artists are livid. Yeah, because we spoke about AI. And I know art is one thing that, same thing, right? If I'm doing a monthly contest where I'm looking for the best artists in the world to give me their artwork and show some of your best video game artwork or your best science fiction artwork, you're right. I could see thousands of those photos coming in now versus 100, And what do you do? So let me ask, Gary, for someone on your end, how can you tell fake from reality when that happens?
Well, I haven't had a chance to really look at all, because I've been in prison. It's something that started since I've been in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But there'll be probably companies coming up that be a new type of business where people will analyze content. There's already companies that will flag deep fake videos and stuff. Because people have been modifying photographs and stuff since the day that camera got invented hundreds of years ago. I mean, it's just human nature to modify and change stuff. So
you hit it to the T. There are groups already out there doing that. There are deep fake videos of popular Twitch, YouTube stars where they do hire people to go find these videos, and they find them and they do take them down. And you're right, deep fake is a big issue right now, and it's reaching the Constitution. We got the government even talking about generative AI. Okay, is it a problem? Now, let me ask this from a government standpoint, Gary. Do you think our government will ever understand technology? Because it seems like they're always behind when it comes to technology.
They won't understand that they're always behind. I mean, if they're gonna, some people say they're gonna ban AI or regulate AI. Well, if that was the case, you should have done the same thing to Photoshop, because Photoshop back in the day could change a photograph.
True.
So it's
you're right.
Once you put a limit on something, and if you do allow it, that's the scary part. Once you do decide, this is not allowed anymore, and then what's the next step? Well, then something else isn't allowed. Then who has the right to change something? So it's a slippery slope. You do need a little bit of regulation in some ways, but then once you start regulating something, where do you stop regulating it?
Mm-hmm. No, you preaching, man. I don't know where you would stop regulating it. Hey, you're right. Photoshop, if that's the case. You know what? And it's so funny, Gary, because a lot of people talked about that, like with Nintendo. They was like, yo, Nintendo's so hard. What are they going to do next? They're going to, ban paper clips. They're going to ban, they're going to ban USB drives. And I agree. A lot of different things. It's funny when it comes to laws, because different things are used when it comes in favor of what you're trying to go for. And I realize that the government is behind in technology, but it's funny, if you probably look at a lot of them, they're either backed or they have a lot of investments in technology. So they're making money at the same time, what I find a lot of cases. Now, deep fake videos. Gary, right now, if somebody made a deep fake video of you, is that something that you go after to stop because it can get worse? Or do you just, as a person, knowing that deep fakes are out there, you just have to say, hey, if I stop one person, maybe 10 more can do it.
I mean, it'll be funny. It's something to laugh about. I mean, I've had memes made of me before. So that was back in the day where it's just taking a simple photograph and modifying it. There's still some bad memes out there. Some haters made back in the day. But I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it's going to happen. Yeah. There's always people doing weird stuff. You got to look at the comedy side of it. You know?
Nah, you're right.
Give them an A+ for their effort.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you on that. I'm gonna give an A+ for the effort too. I'm gonna be flattered, to be honest. Now we got somebody said best to invest now. My man Soy Destroys Men. That's a wild name, my guy. But cool with you. He said, "You still in jail? My bad, OG." Okay, sad for you. He said, "My bad. You should be out right now." We got. Mainstream society behind deepfakes has been a thing for years in the underground in China. Yes, that is true. It has been around for a while. My man BB said, guess who's back? So happy. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Now, we only got like 10 minutes left. So if anybody got any questions, y'all better get them in. But Gary, this money that's donated, once you get out, I know you're going to be able to have a phone. So I'm sure it's going to be simple to make an email and a PayPal account. All right. So I can just get it over to you. You can transfer it wherever you want to from there, your bank account, debit card, whatever you want to do. But PayPal is open, you know, and as soon as you set it up, man, I can just send it to you. That'd be easiest. So that way they don't take a dime. You know what I mean? I don't want them to say, oh, 3% fee or transfer fee or no, PayPal to PayPal. Okay. This is a family friendship. Sending good. This ain't no business transaction. This is from one friend to another, giving money to him. Here you go. Okay, that's how we're gonna do it. So you can get every dime of that. I don't want nothing missed. So just so people know as well, when you get out, you spoke to me about different areas. You gave me an address, and I sent a response back. I don't know if it came through yet. Because I know a lot of times when I send it just sits pending, especially with pictures. But I sent a screenshot of that location. All right. So also that, because that was one you told me to look up. I'm gonna just say that. So you'll see that, or at least you should be seeing it soon, and that information. But I want to hopefully we need to get something to where we know once you out, you can get there and you good. You know what I mean? And then once I get that first phone call from you and you give me that, I'm free. Oh, Gary, I'm going to be like, shit, get out there. Run, Gary. Run from this.
I'll call you from the airport in Canada.
Yeah, man. I got to celebrate, man. This is a turn up, man. It's a big turn up moment. Like, a lot of people might not turn up. That's a turn up moment for me. Like, you're walking around people, they can't tell you nothing. People might think I'm going crazy right now, but they don't understand, man. Walking, I told you when I got released, I just walked. I didn't care. I called my folks. I told them to pick me up, and they was like, where you going to be? I said, on the highway. And I was walking on the highway, and it was beautiful. I remember listening to the cars, hearing the birds. I got released at like 6 a.m, 7 a.m. Beautiful. It was the best morning. So I'm definitely want you to enjoy that, man. That's a long time behind bars.
I'm not sure exactly what time I'll arrive in Toronto on Thursday, because I also got to remember I'm flying backwards. I'm going from the West Coast to the East Coast. So even if the plane takes off at 5 a.m. here,
you got a minute.
8 in the morning. So I'm going. It's the worst way to travel, west to east. It's a 5-hour flight ends up being like a 7-hour flight because you're going backwards in time 3 hours.
Nah, that is the worst way to travel, bro. Your time zones is all getting me. Oh, that is terrible. You're right. But at least you know the end result is I'm getting the hell off of here and I'm out. You know what I mean? So that you can't be mad at.
Basically 40. Well, how many hours from now? We're on Tuesday, right?
Yep. We on Tuesday.
Basically 48 hours.
It is, man. That's why I'm like, damn, it's so close. Now, my man BB, I ain't listened to him, Bowser. He's talking about when the new SXOS2. Shut up, BB. Stop, BB. Get out of here. He said turn up. Somebody else said they walked home too from prison. All right. My man BB crazy. I already know him, Gary. I know him. He one that be starting trouble, Gary. I can't let him come in and just tear it up. But once you get out and you at the airport, definitely give me a call, man. And I do want to, man, turn up with you, man. I can't wait. I'm just super excited because I've been speaking with you, dude. This is alone. Now, I spoke with people in jail before. Yeah, I didn't have family members in jail and a friend in jail and stuff like that. But I ain't never speak with somebody for this long. So now it's like, yo, it's been so long that I'm like, yo, you're about to get, oh my, you got it. I don't even care if you spend $5 on a combo or something for the celebration. You know what I mean? You got to do something. Just say, yo, I'm gonna get me. Don't eat the greasy food. I'm gonna be honest. They're right. That's gonna tear your stomach up, man. Once you're gonna tear your stomach up, man. Trust me.
The good thing about this place, because it's a detention center, not a prison, you can at least talk on the phone for a whole hour. And you can call right back after it hangs up. Or in the federal prison, that was only 10 minutes every hour.
Yeah, that's
of the month.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought about that. You're right. It was 10 minutes, and literally, it would remind you at 5 minutes. Like you're at 5 minutes, you're like, damn, okay, well, let's hurry up. And only 10-minute calls, man. Somebody said Gary the GOAT. And call you the GOAT, man. You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people out here representing for you, man. Any requests you got from me, anybody out there that they would tune into, see something, anything you got since we coming towards the end?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah, it ain't much to say, man. Like you getting out. That's the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying at this point that you get out. Now, anybody there? Has there been anybody in the because there, I know there's a lot of different nationalities. Say a lot of different languages there. You can speak multiple languages. You got any amigos? You know, saying later to you? You got any of your friends there that's later to you? Got anybody that you met, or have you just been like there? It's like shit. Everybody's ready to go.
No, I don't know. There's a few people, but we'll see what happens when they get closer.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, just make sure, man, when you got that, the last, when they say pack it up, Bowser, pack it up. I want you to, man, get all of it. I want you to wrap it up. I want you to take any shit that you don't need, like some random food or some more. Throw all that shit. Get all that shit to them. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, man, whoever wants this, take that shit and run to that door, man. Because I know that feeling, man. You just, oh, shit.
This place is slow when they tell you to pack up.
I hate. So you just standing at the door for like an hour with your man.
What this place is, when that does happen, the phone's still working stuff. So I'll give you a quick call and let you know that
cool.
I'm actually
good
walking up soon. Whereas in the federal prison, they turn off all your phones and everything like a day before. Sometimes a week.
They making sure you ain't trying. They so bogus for that, man. Let people get off. They know what they doing, man. They trying to make sure, like, nah, it's too late. You can't make your calls now. It's over with. Wait till you get out of here and make your damn calls. They so bogus for that. But so they gonna cut the phones out there. So yeah, you can go ahead and call me them. I'd be very interested to hear. But once you get out, man, my main thing is to make sure you get these funds. There ain't nothing I could do with it, man. I want you to get it. I'm gonna see if I can add anything into it as well. That should hold you over for at least. I'm hoping, man, get you through 3-4 days or something in a nice spot where you can sit. Because usually, I can tell you, sitting in that room is going to give you a clear mind. You're going to start getting on the internet. You can see our old podcast episodes. Okay, you could go ahead and like take a day to reflect on what passed. You know what I mean? In that time, and take that in. And then, go ahead, man. Live your life. But it seems like we got about 2 minutes. I want to make sure I ain't leave nobody out. Hold on. I see Degenerate Collector. Ask questions, brother. Get me into the court case. Yo, no, we're not getting into the court case, degenerate. My man, we ain't doing that. Man, I ain't trying to. And I'm one that I ain't trying to get nobody else popped up anyway. And they got their own cases. My man here that served this time and he getting out. Let's let that be. All right, we're gonna let that rest. But my man degenerate, appreciate you tuning in. He said, Tears of the Kingdom is a bad game. They wanted me to tell you that in the last minute, which it ain't, Gary. They lying to you. It's a fabulous game. They're just talking shit right now. But Tears of the Kingdom is a great game, and they're just talking crap. But 30 seconds, man. You know, that's it, man. We'll holla. Hopefully, we can set up another one. We're going to aim for another one tomorrow. Let's just aim for it anyway. I'm still going to be texting back and forth with you, but we'll try to set up another one for tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do one tomorrow.
All right,
be the last day
exactly. You know what I mean? We could probably do it same time and everything. Let's aim for that, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Man, you're welcome, man. Talk to you later, man.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, that's our man, man. My man Gary, man. He in the house. I had to stop it. Now, y'all, just so y'all know, okay, let me pull this back up real quick because I got to be quick on this, y'all. I don't know if y'all know. Your boy supposed to be working, okay? I got to jump back on my work, but I'm just going to tap in and tell all y'all thank you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. I seen all y'all in the chat doing the digital. BB, you wrong for that, BB. I said it anyway because I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying? But the SXOS. Come on, BB. You know I ain't about to ask no SXOS. Roland, Sage, appreciate you tuning in. Joe, Vincent, man, appreciate that. Degenerate, you know what I'm saying? Degenerate, you know I ain't about to get on that court case, man. How do I look and be like, yo, Gary, let's keep it a buck, man. There was a lot of money that wasn't confiscated. Where that though? You know what I'm saying? Do you got some over there in the DR, Gary? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't ask that, bro. That man, if he got that money, I hope he tap in. I hope he tap back in with me. You know what I'm saying? That's how you keep it like that. I hope he tap in. And if he tap in, we good. But other than that, man, we go ahead now. It's your boy Nick Moses.